Welcome to March. Yay. Hey. Well, for those of you who don't know me, hello, my name is Heather. I'm the music director here at the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living in beautiful, sunny today, Amado, Arizona. Oh, yes. Let's stand and let's sing this awesome, awesome song by my friend and yours, Richard McDeesey and Sue Riley. It's a little bit of a long one, so I'm going to pick up the pace. I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know you really are. Well, I know who you're here to be. I see it in your eyes, a light for the world to see. I know who you're here to be. You're here to be the one. You're here to make it fun. You really got my head spinning. You brighten every room. You always leave too soon, and this is just the beginning. I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. Let's go to that second verse. You are incredible, so unforgettable, the one that everyone's eyeing. You are an awesome friend, and so magnificent, and there is just no denying. I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. Well, I know who you're here to be. I see it in your eyes, a light for the world to see. I know who you're here to be. I know who you're here to be.
Get comfortable. Good morning, everybody. My name is David, and I'm your trustee on duty today. On behalf of Reverend Donna and the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to welcome you here to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are truly welcome here. You will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you are meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action, every day, in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. You'll find our declaration of principles on the back of your program. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Do we have any first-timers today?
There's a visitor here.
A visitor. Welcome.
Dick Martin from Portland, New York.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Any other newcomers? No, I don't see any. We hope you stay and get to know us, some of us, and we're glad that you're here. We hope you come back again. Please join us for refreshments after. Yeah. I would like to thank all the people that made this Sunday celebration possible. And first of all, I would like to thank all of you sitting in the chairs. Thank you. You know, if we didn't all come here, it just wouldn't be the same. Amen. And thank you to all the ones who helped to make the day go smooth, like Susan and all the food and everyone else, Kathy, who helps. Thank you very much. Please direct your attention to the announcements that are in your bulletin. And if you're watching us online, please visit cslaz.org for the announcements and your event calendars. All right. If you would please turn your cell phones off, and we'll let the service begin. Thank you.
Christine, would you like to do the bells this morning? Yes. You are a great beller. You're a great ringer. And if you are joining us for the first time today, the words for our Namaste song are inside the very first page of your bulletin, where it says bells and music. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste, namaste.
Good morning. I'm John, and I am one of the amazing practitioners here at our fabulous Amado Center for Spiritual Living. Would you please join me in our opening invocation? Knowing that God is everywhere present, filling all space. It fills this sanctuary with its presence and its light and its love. And I know, declare, and affirm that it expresses in, through, and as each one of us here today, right here and right now. And I am so grateful for this truth. Together, let's say, and so it is. So I light our service candle, knowing that it represents the light within each one of us as our service unfolds. So my reading today is from the last chapter of the book called The Naked Now, Learning to See as the Mystics See by Richard Rourke, a globally recognized Franciscan priest from New Mexico. And while reading this book, I was amazed at how new thought it is. It's from the last chapter of the book, and it's entitled The Principle of Likeness. In the end, it all comes down to this. To have a spiritual life is to recognize early on that there is always a similarity and coherence between the seer and the seen, the seekers and what they are capable of finding. You will seek only what you have already partially discovered and seen within yourself as desirable. Spiritual cognition is invariably recognition or recognition. Call it the principle of likeness, if you will. The enormous breakthrough is that when you honor and accept the divine image within yourself, you cannot help but see it in everybody else too. That is why you stop judging, and that is how you start living unconditionally. Non-dual people will see things in their wholeness and call forth the same unity in others, simply by being who they are. Wholeness can see and call forth wholeness in others. What you see is what you get. What you seek is also what you get. We mend and renew the world by strengthening inside ourselves what we seek outside ourselves, and not by demanding it of others or trying to force it on others. This truth may sound like the law of attraction that is so widely discussed today and often called the secret. This is fine as far as it goes. The secret seems to be saying that your mind creates the outer world. However, the true contemplative mind does not deny the utter facticity or factualness of the outer world. But you do create your response to it. And that response, for all practical purposes, is your reality. Rohr lists several bullet points, many of which those of us in this teaching are already familiar with. And they include, if you want others to be more loving, choose to love first. If you notice other people's irritability, let go of your own. If you wish to find some outer stillness, find it within yourself. If you find yourself resenting the faults of others, stop resenting your own. If you want a just world, start being just in small ways yourself. If your situation feels hopeless, honor the one spot of hope inside you. If you want to find God, then honor God within you and you will always see God beyond you. For it is only God in you that knows where and how to look for God. As Ernest Holmes says, what we are looking for, we are looking with. Some Eastern religions have called this karma, the correspondence between who you are and what you can make happen. Jesus said the same almost exactly. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Grant pardon, and you will be pardoned. Give, and there will be gifts for you. The amount you measure out is the amount you will be given back. Now you can understand the words of Matthew. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open for you. Your desire to seek reflects a part of you that you already are. You desire only what you have already partially found. The great work has already begun in you. Thank you. Namaste. So I take our candle, and I'll be sitting over on the side table holding the high watch. If you have anything going on that you would like treatment for, please fill out a prayer card. And also, anyone, today is Practitioner Sunday, so if you see any one of us wearing a stole, that means we are also available for you for a 1-minute miracle. So don't hesitate to please come over and use us. Thank you.
So, on the pink sheet inside your program, there's the song called Singing with Heather. This is it. And it's only if you want to. Because as the front of your bulletin says, and inside our theme, cultivating, we're all about planting seeds for the springtime, yeah? So it goes like this. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more, yeah? I've been planting seeds in the ground, watering them with my sweat and tears, scattering them all around. Guess it's what I'm supposed to do with my years. Funny thing is I may know what I planted, but will never show. It always seems to be a perfect mystery. Here we go. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more. Sometimes I still like to pretend I know what the harvest will be, but I always find out in the end it was never really up to me. Funny thing is when I just do my work and simply trust, always seems that life is looking out for me. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more. I am only one of billions of seeds. When all is said and done, I do what's mine to do and let it be. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, what's meant fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, it's nothing more. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, what's meant to works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, planting seeds, I am planting seeds and nothing more. Thanks for singing along with me today. And thank you, Daniel Namod, for that amazing song.
Yeah, I like Daniel. He's cool. Several years ago, I watched a TED Talk by Jane Fonda called The Third Chapter. And she mentioned that our generation, some of you are a little bit younger than our generation, but our generation is living about 34 years longer than our parents or grandparents. So we've actually added a second adult lifetime. And it's never happened before. So we are the forerunners in defining how this third act should be lived. So, and I can see it all around us, you know. We're not about retiring from something, those of us who are retired. Like my father and grandfather did. I mean, they retired and stopped working and took up a permanent post in a recliner, you know. And I often said of my grandfather that, you know, he died when he retired and we buried him 10 years later because he really just sat in his chair, and my dad did too. But we don't do that. We are taking advantage of those 34 years. We become participants in life. And we've retired, those of you who are retired, we've retired to something, not from something. You know, and I love to hear about what people are doing, what class you're taking, what new adventure you're on, what service you are doing for the community, where you're volunteering. There is something going on everywhere. And if you're a member of GVR and you want to be busy and you're not, it's your fault. Because there's a gazillion things to do. And there's a lot of groups that serve us in many ways, and we have an opportunity to participate in them. Gary came up to me last week and gave me a card about the grief group that he's attending and how wonderful it is to have that support. So there's those things that are going on, and we are all a part of it. We're not in our recliner retired. And I never want us to be. So since we have these extra years, and since we're following a spiritual path, I think we're all wondering about how we live a life that matters, how we live those years with joy and with a sense of belonging. So our theme for the month of March is cultivating authenticity, and I think that that's what we are seeking. I think that's what John was talking about this morning from Father Richard Rohr. The more we can be our authentic selves, the more we are in alignment with the spiritual aspects of love, joy, peace, harmony. And our topic for today is from Oscar Wilde, who said, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken." Brené Brown is probably the most well-known researcher on authenticity. She started out as a shame researcher and realized that the opposite of shame is authenticity. And so she kind of switched her whole view of what she was researching and talks a lot more about authenticity, about living wholeheartedly. And in The Gifts of Imperfection, she defines authenticity as the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. Cultivating authenticity that is not about becoming something other than who we are. Rather, it involves releasing those patterns of thoughts, attitudes, and actions that act as barriers to us standing in our personal truth and power. And Brené Brown says, before I started doing my research, I always thought of people as being either authentic or inauthentic. Authenticity was simply a quality that you had or that you were lacking. But as I started immersing myself in the research and doing my own personal work, I realized that like many desirable ways of being, authenticity is not something we have or don't have. It's a practice, a conscious choice of how we want to live. Authenticity is a collection of the choices that we have to make. It is the degree to which we are true to our own personality, spirit, or character, despite the pressures and influences that are external to us. And I think that cultivating authenticity is the key to our spiritual growth as well. I think that they're so intertwined. I think they're just two words for one thing, really. Because if we are people seeking a spiritual understanding of ourselves, then authenticity is the way that spirituality is expressed. There is a coherence of our inner and outer life, and our actions reflect that coherence. As we develop a rich spirituality that feels love at the core of our being, we automatically express that love in our words, in our deeds, and in our actions. Mahatma Gandhi was invited to speak before the House of Commons in England. Using no notes, he spoke for 2 hours and brought an essentially hostile audience to a rousing standing ovation. Following his speech, some of the reporters approached his secretary, Mahadev Desai, incredulous that Gandhi could mesmerize his audience for such a long time with absolutely no notes. And Desai responded, "What Gandhi thinks, what he feels, what he says, and what he does are all the same. He does not need notes. You and I, we think one thing, feel another, say a third, and do a fourth. So we need notes and files to keep track." So Gandhi is an example of spirituality in action, totally congruent within himself and with the principles he stood for. And that's why he could say with confidence, "My life is an indivisible whole, and my activities run into one another. My life is my message." And businessman and author Stephen Covey says, "People who are congruent act in harmony with their deepest values and beliefs. They walk their talk. When they feel they ought to do something, they do it. They're not driven by extrinsic forces, including the opinions of others or the expediency of the moment." So, I do believe that our struggle for meaning and purpose in our life is directly connected to this need to cultivate authenticity. And I think that all of us can look back, and I don't care how old or young you are right now, but you can look back and see that we were more greatly influenced by our environment than we are today. It was important to us that our boss, co-workers, fellow students, friends liked us, and perhaps we compromised some of our own values in order to be accepted or in order to get ahead. I've worked for bosses that mistreat their employees. And when it happened to me, I did not stand up for myself because I was afraid of losing my job. I was afraid of not having enough money to take care of my son. And that felt like that was a greater need than to be authentic. Today, I don't feel that way. I really don't. Perhaps we've been people pleasers. I know that's another one I can attest to. And we've done things that didn't feel right to us just because we wanted to be liked, we wanted to be accepted. So we were living up to the expectations of others and compromising our own integrity in the process. So the beauty about aging, whether retired or not, is that the need to be authentic, to be true to our own character, our own values, becomes more important than the need to have people say nice things about us. As I quoted Brené Brown earlier, authenticity is a practice, a conscious choice of how we want to live. It is a collection of choices that we have to make. And when those choices are congruent with who we are, when we have the courage to be imperfect and vulnerable, we are able to love ourselves exactly as we are, warts and all. And Brené Brown calls this living wholeheartedly. She says, wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness. It means cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up in the morning and think, no matter what gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. It's going to bed at night thinking, yes, I am imperfect and vulnerable and sometimes afraid, but that doesn't change the truth that I am also brave and worthy of love and belonging. So I want to spend some time talking about those three things that she's talking about, the idea of cultivating courage, cultivating compassion, and cultivating connection as the tools that will help us be true to ourselves, be true to our own story. We can tell our own story from that place of authenticity. So beginning with courage. Sometimes we think of courage as a soldier going into battle, risking his life for his country. But I like what Brené says. The root of the word courage is cor, the Latin word for heart. It's in one of its earliest forms, the word courage had a very different definition than it does today. Courage originally meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. And over time, this definition has changed, and today, courage is more synonymous with being heroic. Heroics is important, and we certainly need our heroes. But I think we've lost touch with the idea that speaking honestly and openly about who we are, about what we're feeling, and about our experiences, good or bad, is the definition of courage. Heroics is often about putting our life on the line. Ordinary courage is about putting our vulnerability on the line. In fact, in her research, Brené Brown found that the one major difference between those who lived wholeheartedly and those who don't is the wholehearted embrace vulnerability. They saw their flaws and imperfections not from a shame-based perspective, but as part of what made them beautiful. So to embrace our vulnerabilities means that we acknowledge them and allow them to be a part of us, and then have the courage to reveal that vulnerable side to others. And the benefits of that are really huge. Rather than being ashamed of our flaws, we start to see them as the strange or interesting and quirky or unique things that make us special. I say this sometimes, we're all crazy in our own ways, so we might as well be confident about it. I had a wonderful friend who would say, it's a quirky little life, but it's all mine. And she was a quirky little person, and I loved her with all my heart. And being vulnerable helps us to get rid of pent-up baggage. While it isn't easy to deal with painful memories, It's better to confront our past than to hide from it. We all have made bad decisions that we regret. So rather than judging ourselves, let's search for the lesson or takeaway that will prevent similar mistakes in the future. And then just simply let it go. Here's what we've done. Here's what we've learned. This will not happen in the future. So simple. And yet, how often do we take that to bed with us night after night after night, year after year after year? I remember there was a woman in our class way back when I first started here that finally admitted, I think she was like almost 80, she admitted that when she was 6 years old, she stole gum from a grocery store. She had a terrible feeling. She had carried that guilt of a pack of gum for like, 75 years. You know, we don't need to do that to ourselves. We've all stolen a pack of gum. I don't care what picture it looks like. You know? So when being vulnerable grants us a deeper degree of honesty and transparency, and that leads to deeper relationships, not only with people, but we feel the connection with everything. And when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we are more sensitive and tender-hearted, and we're more compassionate. And that's the next one. Compassion is that which makes our heart move at the pain of another and our desire to alleviate that pain in some way. It's the practice of what the Buddhists call loving kindness. You and I need to be compassionate, lovingly kind to ourselves first. If we are not compassionate to ourselves, if we are judging and criticizing who we are and what we do, then that is the way we will see the world and others, like John's reading this morning, so very perfect. We will see out there what we believe is the truth. American Tibetan Buddhist Pema Chodron, in her book The Places That Scare You, writes, "Compassion practice is daring. It involves learning to relax and allow ourselves to move gently toward what scares us. In cultivating compassion, we draw from the wholeness of our experience, our suffering, our empathy, as well as our cruelty and our terror. We are all of those things. And it has to be this way. Compassion becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. Again, it's that ability to embrace our vulnerability, our own imperfections, that allows us to be compassionate both with ourselves and in the world." The next one is connection. Connection. You and I are cognitively and spiritually hardwired for connection. And connection, along with love and belonging, which are two expressions of connection, is why we're here. It's why we're here on the earth. It's why we're here in the center. And it is what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. Brené Brown defines connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. We can see, hear, and value others when we value ourselves. So having the courage to be vulnerable starts that process of self-value and begins our path to wholehearted living. And from there, we become compassionate toward others, those close to us, and even those we know only from a distance. When we practice living with the courage to be vulnerable, when we practice true self-compassion and compassion for others, and when we connect by sharing the stories of our heart, then we are cultivating authenticity, and we are free to be ourselves. And that's a good thing, because everyone else is taken. Thank you. Namaste.
Inch by inch, row by row, Gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music of the land. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Till the rain comes tumbling down. Till the rain comes tumbling down.
Ooh, thank you. Okay. So it's time for our offering. If you would join me in our offering affirmation. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me, multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. Oh.
And again, just thank you for your generosity that allows us to be a beneficial presence in this community. I'm very proud of the work that we do here, as well as the work that we do right here in our center. So thank you so very much. And please join us for the meeting right after. We'll have a little bite to eat, and then we'll have the meeting. I'm trusting it's not going to last more than about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Unless we have a huge amount of people wanting to come forward to be board members, that we have to have a vote. So let's close this portion out in prayer, and then please join us for refreshments, and then back in your seats for the meeting. I will also put an agenda and the budget out for you to take one. And if you're a couple, if you would share, because I only made 20 copies. Okay, thank you. So right now, right here and now, I recognize the love, joy, peace, harmony, abundance that are the attributes of what we call God, consciousness, life itself. And made in that image and likeness, all of those attributes are inherently ours. So as we make those choices to cultivate our authenticity, we make those choices to live those aspects of God. I speak my word for anyone who's having any experience of discomfort or pain, to know that the power and presence is right there. I speak a word for Judy Robertson, for wholeness and perfection. I speak a word for other countries, other people that are experiencing devastation, whether natural disasters or war. And to know again that the peace and power of God is right there at work, making all things well. So I release these words into that law of mind to do its perfect work, as we say together, and so it is. Thank you. May we stand and sing Stand. It's coming out. There.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are living a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are living a new world now. We are living a new